1994 there with Sebenza. It's a new collab that came out a few weeks ago, playing here in the station here, Listen and Live. And it's time for the
King's Parchment on Saturday Vibes. Listen and live.
It's time for the King's Parchment, and just want to break bread together with us. And I've titled this short devotion, Salt plus Light. Salt plus Light, Matthew chapter 5, 13 to 16. And in case you're joining us, unaweza ukatupata niko live by the way Facebook, niko live YouTube, na pia niko live pale Twitter X at Hope FM Live. So you can tell me kama unanipata vizuri, sauti iko vipi. And Matthew chapter 5, 13 to 16. I've already read that verse, but I'll still read it here. You are the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So that they may see your good work and glorify your Father in heaven. And you are the salt of the earth. This is who we are. Najua si ati you are becoming the salt. You are the salt of the earth. Then Christ also says you are the light of the world. And this statement we qualify when we are saved. Wakati sasa tunasema sisi tumeokoka. Na sasa naongea na watu ambao wameokoka. So first of all, you are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. And so we looked at the salt, and we saw the importance and the value of the salt and the purity, that is in the salt. Kwamba nothing devalues salt. Salt in itself is pure and valuable. And we've looked at the uses of salt. The greatest single use of salt is as a feedstock for the production of chemicals. It's also used to produce caustic soda and chlorine. It's also used in the manufacturing process of polyvinyl chloride, plastics, paper pulp, and many other products. Like salt iko kila mahali, hata fertilizer. And so when you're told we are the salt of the earth, and we know who the salt is, and we know what salt does, and we know the value of salt. I've warned you that, salt loses its value if it comes in contact with impurities. And the salt for the soil, true Christians have a positive effect wherever they are found. They are useful. Salt is useful everywhere for cultivating what is good, true, and beautiful. They play a part in God's story of redeeming and healing the brokenness of the world. So saltiness can't be mixed with worldliness. Hizo ndio impurities tumekuwa tukiongelelea, or it will lose effect. Conversely, more salt leads to greater effect on the soil. More salt leads to greater effect on the soil. So teenagers ambao ndio focus yangu, who are walking with Jesus needs us, you and I, to give them a clear picture of saltiness in their daily lives. For them, saltiness looks like respecting teachers, picking up trash, helping a new student find a classroom, all those things. When teenagers pick to build up rather than tear down, that is being salt. So encourage them, build. When they bring conversation around you that seems to degrade, put a disclaimer there and tell them you are supposed to build. When they play their best on the team but aren't overly angry about their losses, they offer others a savory taste of God's grace. So ata how they lose wakiwa na wengine, these are things that we can help them learn. Salty faith might look like a teenager taking a stand against racism, and hatred, bullying. Unajua amesema hapa no bullying. Your son is a head boy somewhere or a captain somewhere. They need to be the voices of against bullying or even sexual harassment. So these are things that we ought to first of all they see from us. Wewe huwezi ongea kuhusu saltiness, when you are part of the sexual harassment cases pale kazini. No. Christian teenagers who demonstrate growing respect for their parents or guardians. So tini unanisikia sahizi, respecting your parents, your guardians, hii ni kukuwa salt kwa hii earth. kwa sababu ina grow, ni kitu ina grow, kuna blessing. In short, salt brings growth. Salt makes something better. Parents, hata wewe faithfully showing up kwa shift at work ina reflect vile hata mtoto wako atakuwa faithful kwa mambo yake. Who look out for the interest of others also display the kind of saltiness to which Jesus calls those who follow him. So Christians join God in the kingdom work of sowing peace, love, and goodness in the world. So salt promotes the good of the soil. Hakuna soil inakuja in contact with salt ambayo haikui improved. Hakuna. So the good of the soil, is promoted by the presence of salt into which it is sown. Although Christian teenagers will often stumble and falter, knowing the grace of Jesus will make a difference in how they live. God promises to complete the good work he has started in their lives. So even when they stumble or falter, there's something good that is in them that God started. So this is the greatest news we have to share with teenagers. This is how they should, be the salt of the earth. God is in the business of transforming our lives into something useful and flavorful. He is in the business of transforming your life. And now we look at a world that is in darkness, and then Christ says you are the light of the world. Light for the world. Evangelism, being light means displaying the glory of God through God's work, motivated by God's grace. God calls us to speak and live the truth. Our actions and words must be in alignment as followers of Christ. If we say that Jesus saves sinners, we must live in humble acknowledgement of our own status as sinners. Because we believe that Jesus is the only way to God, we must demonstrate care and concern for the lost through evangelism. So hawezi kuwa wewe ndio light ya hii world, na wewe ndio unasema siwezi ongea na huyu ni hellbound, haiwezekani. And you find that people who believe that they are special kind of Christian, that they are heaven material, while the rest are not heaven material or candidates of heaven, it reflects even to the young ones that they are raising. You raise a kiddo who cannot mingle with others, who cannot preach the same gospel anasikia nyumbani. So if we say heaven is our home and Christ is our king, we must avoid enslavement to an earthly lust for money, even sexual things or power. We shouldn't climb over others to get ahead or despise the poor or the powerless, but care for them as those who Christ came specifically to seek and save. That is how we become lights in this world. That's how we become the light of the world. So parents and youth workers have the privilege and responsibility of modeling the teenagers in this world, by transforming life through faith, inviting them to join in Christ missions, to make all things new. Thankfully, God has given us all sufficient grace to pardon every failing and empower every act of goodness and love for his own glory. So Jesus is on a mission to redeem the world from death and darkness. God has brought us from darkness into his glorious light, making us new. Kiumbe kipya, kiumbe safi. As those who belong to him, he calls us and our teenagers to shine the light of his gospel in the darkness of the world. So as salt, as salt in this earth, what value are you bringing? Every soil that comes in contact with soil, becomes better. What value are you adding? What value is your teenager adding? What value are you as a teenager adding? It goes to how you speak. It goes to what you stand for. Bullying, pale shule, kuibia mtihani. Those are the things that, being a salt in this earth helps bring out and helps you to be. And then how you act, your actions. Are you a light? Because Christ is in a mission of redeeming this dark world. And you and I are his instrument. So may our actions, may how we live, our words and all these things. Let us join God in this kingdom work of sowing peace, love, and goodness in the world. Our world is in darkness, but then Light has power over darkness. Be that light. What I'm also saying is that if they see that at home, they become that. So don't expect what you are not from your teenagers. Actually, only God's grace can help them become what you are not. But what you are, trust me, they will be. Be a salt in the earth and be a light in the world.